Welcome back to Hit Points Gaming, more coverage from PAX Unplugged. We are wearing the same shirt we're doing in all these videos. This video is going to be on a game called UPRISING.
Coming to Kickstarter next year.
Sometime next year. You think it might be April, May. I think I agree with that. It's kind of a open, like a big world.
It's a 4X type game. Yep, open world, where I thought in the beginning we're all against each other, we're all these different clans, but actually no, we're working together.
Yes.
It's the end of the world, and we've got demons coming from the outside continent in, and then you've got like the Empire who like opened the portals of hell.
Yeah, they didn't tell us too much of the story, and they were kind of hesitant to.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's because they didn't want to tell us. I don't think it was because they didn't have it. Because it really sounded like they had a lot already, and they were looking forward to more stuff.
Yes.
So I just didn't think they wanted to give us too much, because it's still really early.
It is, and which is, I'm glad we were able to sit down and actually do a playthrough, which you'll see in this video, and to kind of see how the game works, the different steps, the different characters, like all the different cards are there. My faction felt unique compared to the other ones that were sitting at the table.
They all look different and play different.
Yep. I actually like the standees, you know.
I like them so much.
You know,
and they are what they said. That this is going to be what's in the Kickstarter.
Yeah, models are cool. I get it. But, you know, colored standees, pretty sharp.
No one's doing them. Like, really, I mean, you know.
Yeah. I know Gloomhaven kind of does a mix of both. There's this other game recently I backed on Kickstarter where there's a bunch of models in it, but then, like, if you're buying the bigger one, but then, like, I kind of want to buy, like, the basic standees because they're colored and I don't have to worry about painting the models or anything like that. So that's what I really liked about this. And it looked really cool on the table, on the board. And we got to play, I think, one full round. I think the game's broke up into 3 or 4 rounds. And the one thing that I really did like about it is because it's co-op, we're scoring together, you know, on this tracker board, but then so are the bad guys. They have their own individual score, and we need to beat them at the end, which is pretty sharp, and you'll see that. Now, you didn't get a chance to actually play this game.
No.
Someone just stole your seat.
I was going to sit down, and I don't want to say it because maybe this guy watching, he's like, "Oh, I took that guy's seat." But I put my character sheet over there. I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to set the camera up. I'll be sitting down."
He's like, "Is anyone sitting here?" "No, go right ahead." "Oh, sorry, Chris." So you get to see this, kind of how it's play out, and we're going to jump into the actual playthrough right now. So let us know what you think of the game. It's coming out, like I said, to Kickstarter in a few months. We're definitely interested in kind of seeing what has changed.
Yeah, this sounds like something we would play.
Yes.
You know, this is totally something that we would play here, and I think that's what pulled us in when we were walking through. This is not something we had on our schedule. We were walking by it, and we were like, that looks pretty cool. Let me check it out. Yeah. Again, the standees are what I saw at first because they're colorful, they're cool looking, and it really sounded like something we would play here for sure.
Yep.
So hopefully, maybe we can, when it comes on Kickstarter, we can get more information on it. You know, but yeah.
Let us know what you think, and thanks a lot for watching.
It takes place over the course of 4 chapters, during which your hero will engage in quests, gain items, and feats that will help you along your journey. Okay. And the game takes from 1 to 4 players, about 45 minutes a player, plus 15 for setup. So, if you want to play super epic mode, you've got 4 hours, 4 players. Okay. However, if you have people that are, you know, time crunched, 2 hours, 4 players is also adjustable.
What happens when you have somebody that takes a very long time, like this guy? Is it like an 8-hour game?
Well, you can really try to, like, walk it. It will take 1 minute. So, you know, we can't make you go faster.
I just don't invite him, I guess. Okay.
Or play a shorter mode.
Okay.
But, yeah, so basically there is, the board is adjustable for the number of players, and we also adjust the time length given people's needs. Okay. Another interesting thing is that each faction has its own collection and owns its own units.
Very nice. Okay. It looks like, can I reach over and grab one of these
Absolutely,
units?
of course, please touch them as you like. This is, we're having standees, so this is basically what you see is what you'll get here.
Yeah.
We might, you know, pimp up the art a little bit, but otherwise.
End of the world. You guys are each taking the role of a hero, who's the leader of one of these fantasy races. And I'll give you some background about why you are having an uprising right now. Because the world is basically ended. There was a very powerful empire hundreds of miles away that was assassinated by a courtesan when he was a child, and his father was so upset he had him brought back to unlife. And unlife lasts forever. And, you know, if you were immortal, that wouldn't be enough for you, would it? You would still want more. And so, in his quest to be worshipped as the only god, his Inquisition has finally wiped out the last of the gods on this planet. However, with no gods to keep the balance, the gates to hell swung wide open, and demons and monsters started pouring into the world. Realizing his mistake, he cast a spell to close the gate. But the spell was powered by the warmth of the life energy of most living things here on the planet. And so everyone is dead, and the seas are frozen. The last survivors, which is to say your people, are here on these islands. These are distant backwater islands of this planet, which only had a small Imperial outpost. However, now it is the world's largest Imperial outpost, since it's the only one left. So, for centuries, you guys have been in various bad ways. The Moyar were the most recent rulers of the island. They were sort of Viking pirate types. The Empire finally got pissed off at you enough to enslave you and put their own Imperial outposts over here. The Duerkar are these very tall, militant people who were driven into the highlands, actually by your people. Your survival strategy has been to live in the icy cold, and their society is extremely autocratic. You are assigned a job at birth, and that's it. That's the only job you're allowed to do. The oldest inhabitants of the islands are your race, the Crow. They were the guardians of an ancient civilization, like millennia ago, but they're long gone, and you've been hunted almost to extinction. But they are very good in a fight, and they reproduce quickly, so maybe there's a reason people didn't want them around. And then maybe in the best spot are the Droon, your race. They're very good at magic, and they're very good at disappearing. They're traders, and they move from island to island, exchanging goods and services. So now that the Empire has wiped everyone out with this spell that's called the Curse, that's why it's called the Curse of the Last Emperor, it's time to get your freedom and get your stuff. But as you can imagine, the Empire is not a huge fan of you getting your freedom. So Imperial legions are going to march out of the center of the map and try and get to your provinces and take them back. As they go, they're going to leave these Imperial garrisons, right? These are sort of fixed locations that can get stronger. You just stack the little buildings the stronger they get. And they also have a combat value, just like these legions. And you may remember, if you were paying attention earlier, there's monsters and demons and shit coming across the ice. That's represented by these hordes of chaos, and they creep in from the outside and slowly eat things up. Every time they move, they leave behind one of these curse markers, which leaves the land a waste, completely useless. You guys are working together. It's a cooperative game. You will win together, or you will lose together. You're fighting two enemies at the same time, the Empire and Chaos.
All right.
These guys are also enemies to each other. If they encounter each other, they'll also fight. But you probably don't want them to do that too much, because that will give them the victory points that you could have gotten. Any one of these factions is too strong for you to beat on your own, so you have to cooperate. It's very hard to trade in this game. You can trade if your heroes are on the same spot, but normally you can't give each other resources. You can just do each other favors. Good so far?
Good so far.
Okay. So yeah, each of you picked a hero. Your hero has a deck of feats. Go through your feat deck and you'll find some that say start. There should be 2 feats that say start. It's kind of dark printed. There's one. Yeah, that right there. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll put those in front of you. Those are already active for you. You'll be getting the rest of those feats later. So your heroes can all go on your home provinces.
It says the word start on the card.
Yeah, this print was really dark, so you can't read the stuff, yeah. Yeah, and then you can put your first haven here as well, right? You can think of these as loyalty markers or whatever, but what they really are is they're, that's where your people are hiding out, right? You've fortified little holes in the ground and caves and wooded glens against all these monsters and things that are running around. The more of those you put out, the more of these resources you'll produce. You can see it goes up. And so just like any other 4X game, you want to put as many of these out as you can to get as many resources as you can, right? They'll also give you more victory points. And so a basic rule of the game is try and get at least one haven out every chapter.
Okay.
And yeah, the game is going to take place over 4 chapters. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards over there. Those are the event cards. So we'll start off by reading an event, which will tell you what's happening in the story and which bad guys appear. Then you guys are going to build some stuff, and we'll do a fast build right up front so you don't have to worry too much about that.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your actions, which are the heart of the game. Everyone has 8 of these little action point tokens, right? These are how you do stuff. And you do stuff with your hero. We'll get to the units in a second, but let's focus on the hero. The basic action you can do is to move. Every action point, you can move 1 space. And then we have these 5 other actions. The thing that most people do after moving is explore. When you explore, you're on a hex, and you flip over the hex, boop, and then it has some stuff that you're going to read, right? It'll give you some resources, it'll produce some bad guys, it might also give you some other special benefits. Let's say you've explored that, and it turns out that there are 2 garrisons there.
Oh.
Da, da, da. And let's say you have some excellent units sitting right over here, because you're very smart and you build pretty good units. The next thing you can do is command. To command, that's how you move your units. It costs you 1 food to do the command action, in addition to the action point. Then any units that are adjacent can move into that hex. You can only command into an explored hex, right? So you have to explore first before you attack anything. As soon as you enter the hex, you enter combat. Everyone's favorite part of combat-oriented games.
Yes.
Should we talk about combat now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Nice.
There are these nice little flowcharts, you have one there too, which show you how combat works. First, there's the before combat round, check if anything happens, right? Then you go to something called archery. You can see that your units here have little arrow symbols if they are archers, right? He's missing one, he's also an archer. You're the only one with extra archer units. There's going to be 1 round of archery. In this case, you have 1 white die. Why don't you roll for the garrisons? They have 2 white dice. Ah, very nice.
Yes.
So you
Good.
zap, kill one of these things, and they don't get to do anything to you. And that would give blue a victory.
Cool.
Then, after that, you move to the clash round. So now you can roll all of your dice. So you've got 2 red and 1 white.
Archery gets to attack again.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless it says otherwise, but probably all the archers. And then these guys, they have a little chart that tells you how strong the garrison is. So they have a blue and a white die now.
Got it. So it was just the archers that shot off the garrison first.
Yep.
Got
And now
it.
everybody attacks.
So, how did I get the 2 reds?
Oh,
These
boy.
guys each show a little red die.
Oh, so they
He's
add red?
good.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the dice are right on the units. Ooh, that's pretty
They're
nasty.
killing you. Well,
He's
they're
a jerk.
killing you. They block 1.
Okay, so you block 1 with a shield, so these 2 disappear. But you're still going to take 1 casualty, and then you just obliterate that.
Okay.
Right? And so then you would say, okay, this guy dies. He doesn't go home, he goes to the Imperial Graveyard, where he will score points later. So he's out of this chapter while he's dead. Next thing you do after you beat people up, put down a haven. Cost you 2 plunder, gets tossed out. Then you've got a haven here, and now you're able to get more resources. You can't have more than 5 units in any one hex, right? Your hero is not a unit. Your hero doesn't add dice to combat, but your hero can do things that will help with combat. So getting more havens means you can build more units, right? Which is also very important in any game. That's the basic pattern of how you expand in the game. There's 2 other things you can do. One of them is buy a magic item on the market. Would you deal out 3 items, the little cards? Put them right there. Ooh, we have a double copy there. Give me one of those and deal into it, yeah.
Alright.
So you can see that a lot of these things they all have a cost in salt, right? And that's how much salt you have to pay to buy them. So if you wanted to buy one, you would put a thing on the market and then you'd pay that much salt and pick it up. Many of them have a minimum attribute that you need, right? So you can see that the Censor of Shadows requires at least a 2 leadership. You have a 3 leadership. You do not. You do not. You do not. So only you could buy that item. And then there's the Nether Sea Compass, which is a magical requirement. You could buy that. You could not. You could not. Yeah, you're the only one. So leadership and magic-y people right here.
Alright.
And they all have game-breaking effects, just like every other game with magic items.
Okay.
And those help either with combat or quests or other stuff. Which brings us to quests.
Yes.
You want to do a quest? Beep. Deal out 3 quests, would you?
Can you do these multiple times,
Yep.
or is it literally?
You can do. You
So
can,
whatever the actions you have.
Exactly. All right. So these look a little complicated because we had a little trouble shoehorning all the things on. I think we did the best we could.
Okay.
Let's say you want to roll a quest. That's the discard. And let's say you've moved all the way over here and you're on an area with a curse, and you want to get rid of a curse, or you want to, get rid of a curse using the druid sacrifice. So to do a quest, you look at the dice that you have here, right? So you have 3 blue dice and 1 red dice. And this says you need 2 successes. So you're looking to get either 1 shield and 1 bolts, 1 shield and 4 skulls, 1 bolts and 4 skulls, or any combination like that. Because you're on a curse, you also get a yellow die.
So it's
Most of them are just 1, right? So this is very easy. 3 skulls. Most of you can do it right off the start.
okay.
So let's see what you get. It's a disaster.
That's pretty hard.
The failure, all right, you lose one of those precious victory points you got, and the quest throws itself away, right?
Okay.
They have a success effect and a not success effect. If you had gotten these 2, you would have gotten